Hi, everybody. Coach Susan here with Big on Results Coaching. I help people that are in transition or stuck to live a life of joy and prosperity. And I am here for your intense Manifestation Monday video on the confusing topic of sacrifice. What is sacrifice? Are you sacrificing every day? Well, sacrifice is putting forth something that's of value to you, that's significant to you, that has meaning to you for the sake of something else. We are going through life sacrificing things that's unnecessary. Well, what's the guidelines for sacrificing? Well, it should be for your highest good. Some of the things that you might be sacrificing is your time, your energy, your resources. Yeah. But are you doing that for your highest good? After you sacrifice and then you step back, are you like, wow, that was a really good decision? Or do you feel ashamed? Do you feel empty? If you're feeling empty or numb because of your sacrifice, that was not for your highest good. Your highest good sacrifices will have a return to that. I did this sacrifice, then I'm going to have this because it was work to my highest good. So when we go through life and we're sacrificing for another individual and we're giving our resources or our time or our energy, how's that to our highest good? If we are going to step back and feel empty about it. Wouldn't it be better if we just elevate our vibration and that we walk in love and that we contribute in that way? I know people say, well, hey, I have kids. Of course, I'm sacrificing all the time. I have to go to work. I have to pay for this. I have to pay for shelter. I have to pay for all of this other stuff. What other stuff? Don't you know they only just really want love? It's society's conditioned them and you and me that this is what it needs to look like. We need to have a sacrifice. We need to work really hard because we need to be putting money away, or we need to have this designer this or this designer that, or this expensive car or this expensive house or this expensive. Why? So when we love our family and we love our friends and we love ourselves, then it makes it pretty clear on sacrifice. Sacrifices should be temporary. I'm going to do this and I'm going to have this level of redemption, this return right here. I'm doing it for this purpose. But if you're going to do it and you're going to step back and you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Or you have a level of emptiness or sadness, grief, maybe even loss because of your sacrifice, how does that work to your highest good? That should be your criteria. Is this my highest good? Am I doing what's for my highest good? If you do things for your highest good, your family, your employer, your clients, everybody will benefit because you're elevating your vibration and it's more impactful. It's more of a gift that you're giving to other people instead of a sacrifice. Sometimes we sacrifice things that people don't even need. Need. Sometimes people just want. They just want to take from you. Give me, give me, give me, give me. I want that time. I want your financial resources. I want this. You can help me out like this. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. Yeah, how's that a sacrifice? Do you walk away feeling good about it? Mm-mm. I know people thinking, well, hey, I have my kids. What do you mean? I have to sacrifice for them. Yeah, to a certain extent. But what they really need is actually pretty simple and pretty easy to give. Again, it's needs versus wants. Sometimes people want certain things because they become accustomed to things, or they're so in ego that they are buying into that conformity of society. This is what it looks like to be happy, is over here. So are you trying to sacrifice what you have so that somebody could have a false sense of happiness? So your sacrifice should be temporary. I'm going to do this because this is what I'm expecting in return. It's to work for your highest good. It's a good decision. Now, I know that people say, well, I know people that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Okay, let's talk about this. People have paid the ultimate sacrifice for the betterment of humanity, but they never went with the intention, I am going to be the sacrifice. It was a cause and effect. It was a situation. And then they paid it. But they did it for the betterment of humanity, in which they were a part of. So when we experience that, and we have relatives that have experienced that, and maybe they're those individuals that paid that sacrifice, the intention was not to be the sacrifice. It's just an effect of the situation that created that sacrifice. So even when we have children and they're very ill, and then we are sacrificing certain things for the survival of our child that we are advocating for, that's a reasonable sacrifice for our kids. But when we're gone all the time, or we're so locked in ego that we're thinking that, oh, well, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that because my kid's like this. That's not a sacrifice. That's selfishness. That's not a sacrifice at all. All sacrifices should be temporary and have a return to them. And if you walk away, even if you are not the one in ego and you walk away, do you feel good about that? That was a good decision. That worked to my highest good, because we all have our own free will. So even our children have their own free will. Our grandchildren, our friends, they all have that if they're over the age of accountability. So we just need to be the best that we can and work things to our highest good and have our sacrifices in alignment for that, our highest good. When we are operating in our highest good, then we could go forward and act in a position of love and to show that to the world by loving people. Don't you see that that is actually the better thing? Stop sacrificing unnecessarily. It is not to your highest good. But if you do want to sacrifice because it is in alignment with what your goals are, I'm going to forego this so that I could have this, then do that. Needs versus wants, right? Sometimes our goals are a luxury thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But remember, everything is temporary. So everything should be, I'm going to do this for a short period of time so that ultimately I could have this thing or do that because that works to my highest good. I'm going to do this so that I can have expansion, here in my life. I'm going to do this so I can have growth over here in my life. I'm going to do this so that I can have joy in my heart. That's to your highest good. Stop going without things and depleting your resources and your energy and your time. Your resources. Stop giving away things that you actually need yourself. Don't look back and be thinking, I should have never have done that. Remember, everything needs to work to your highest good. And it will if you allow yourself to think of things differently, to change that mindset, and not be conditioned by society that's dictating to you otherwise. Maybe you're seeing it through people. Maybe you're seeing that through TV commercials or the news or media or maybe a magazine. Yeah. Sacrifice this to have this. Sacrifice this to have that. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that. I know it can be very confusing. If you would like to reach out to me, we could explore it together and look at it and see, are you making sacrifices you don't need to? Does it work to your highest good? Are you better for that? Or have you created some trauma for yourself that was not necessary? I'm Coach Susan with Big on Results Coaching, and I want you to have an amazing life. And I want you to sacrifice things only if they're to your highest good. Until next Monday.